Some students on the Kwakwa campus of the University of the Free State have already started leaving the premises following a 24-hour notice from management. Students were told to leave campus following violent protests that led to infrastructure damage worth millions on Tuesday morning. Protests fled up following a decision to discontinue its provisional registration system in 2026, a move which students argue will exclude poorer students. Let's speak about this now to Second Deputy Secretary General of the South African Students' Union, Martin Nyaga. Martin, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. Now, you were part of a meeting earlier that included Campus SRCs, student political organizations, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training, as well as the university. What came out of that meeting?
Good afternoon, Vuyo and the listeners. Maybe before I answer you, I think as a union we must register that we are saddened by what is currently unfolding at the University of the Free State in the past few days and up until today and in the days going forward, and how the management is handling the matter. I think we must register it first before I even answer your question. But yes, I can confirm, as the union, we were part of the meeting that happened yesterday, inclusive of the SRC, Institutional SRC, and the representative from the Parliament Portfolio Committee, and the student representative from all political organizations. I think to cover a few, what was registered in that meeting from the student organizations and the SRC in our presence, which was the call to reinstate the provisional registration, of which the university have communicated that it will be discontinued going to the 2026 academic year. That was the core of the submission of the students, and I must register that is the biggest call that the students they are making at this point. And also other things that are unfolding outside of the reinstating of the provisional registration are that on campus, all campuses, 3 campuses of the University of the Free State, they are full of police security forces, of which in the past days they've been brutally harassing our students on campuses. The SRC and political organization representatives have requested and made a call of the withdrawal of these security services and all these policies of South African police service that are full on campus, that are harassing and brutally hurting our students on campuses. I think those are the few things that the students are crying about. But on top of it, students have been arrested in the past days by peacefully protesting in some of these campuses. And now, unfortunately, the university have reached a decision to tell these students to evacuate, especially in the Kwakwa campus, of which we have been seeing today. There's most of these students are struggling even to find means to transport themselves to go home. Even parents, they do not afford, of which some of the things that student leaders have registered in yesterday's meeting, that we must withdraw immediately the evacuation of these students. As currently, most of them, they are stranded among in the community, trying to find a place to sleep. And this exposes our students in the dangers of the community of the Kwakwa campus. Those are the issues that are happening, but I can...
What did the university say at that meeting in defense of its decision?
The university expressed themselves by saying this withdrawal of provisional registration only affects 6% of the students, of which, as a union, it's something that we cannot accept at this point, because even 1% of the students that can be affected by this can be, it is a problem, definitely. So their response was equally saying, no, it's only 6% of the students that are affected, and they are registering that NSFAS students will not be affected by this withdrawal of provisional registration, of which, by the voice of the student leaders, they're expressing that that is not actually the case. Because remember, your NSFAS, before they confirm that you have funding in the beginning of the registration period of the academic year, usually they take time. Some, it happens that they confirm the students around March, around April, May. So the provisional registration also assists those students to be able to register and remain in the system before they get the confirmation. But that was the side of the university that no, this withdrawal of provisional registration really affects only 6% of the students, of which is something that repeatedly we say we do reject. Even 1% of our students that can be affected by this, it is definitely a problem.
I'm also interested in what the parliamentarians had to say.
Maybe we must really appreciate their intervention at this point, because situation was getting out of hand in some of these campuses. But their intervention, I think, at this point came at the point where student leaders on the ground and students in general really needed it. Their intervention, I think, also triggered the meeting that is happening now between the university management and the SRC. That started now at 2, as we are briefed. So their intervention also assisted on the ground to make sure that as the parliamentarian, they know what is happening on the ground and know what is affecting our students. So I think what students were really struggling, or student leaders that were really struggling to attain at this point, was a room for engagement, of which parliamentarian and them being on the ground assisted to create a platform for student leaders and all political organization representatives to have a platform to express their issues. And I think as a union, we really thank and appreciate that intervention.
But it's not coming too late for those students who have had to leave by whatever means necessary to make sure that they don't fall foul of and the wrath, of the university by overstaying their welcome, given the decision management has actually taken.
Indeed, it may be too late at this point, but it is. We must acknowledge that it was an intervention that was really needed. Actually, in the past few days, we gave space also to the SRC and other student leaders to try, and all together with the management, to try and find solution against this, what is currently happening in the university. But unfortunately, it's highly visible that the management and the SRC, they were not finding each other regarding this matter, of which now triggered the intervention of the parliamentarians. We may agree that it may be too late, but it was really needed at this point.
That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for your time. Second Deputy Secretary General of the South African Students' Union, Martin Nyaka, telling us that there is a meeting that started at 2 o'clock between the university and hopefully some solution will come out of that particular meeting.